Welcome to the National Portrait Gallery, which has become something of a second home to us over the years.
And when we're not using it, we let it out to tourists. The place is crawling with them today. And in their midst, 3 artists wielding paintbrushes.
And they're here because they've fought off competition from 1,500 other artists to make it to this point. So welcome to the final of the Sky Arts Portrait Artist of the Year 2019.
Over the course of this series, we've witnessed the astounding creativity of 72 artists as they've depicted a whole cast of famous faces.
Are you a fidgeter?
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. Ants in my pants.
OK.
I think I'd like something really honest. I mean, not too warty.
They're beautiful. I want all of them.
Wow. Heavens to Betsy.
But now it's down to just 3.
The pressure is on for the final. It's intense. It's a big one.
Just want to get painting. It's the only thing that's going to settle the nerves. It's terrifying.
I want to push myself and just hope that it pays off. The pressure is just really quite awful right now.
As they face each other one last time.
What I care about is capturing the essence of a sitter, and also it'd be really nice to win.
They're all battling to impress the judges in their bid to secure the prize.
Thank you.
You're doing good.
A £10,000 commission to paint musical icon Sir Tom Jones for the permanent collection of the National Museum of Wales.
It was just brilliant walking in here and going, oh my God, this is what these guys can do. It's just extraordinary.
So, who will it be?
The Sky Arts Portrait Artist of the Year 2019 is...
Of the 3 artists who've made it to the final, just one is a professional, Duncan Shoosmith.
I thought I'd get blown out in the semi, to be honest. But here I am, winging it.
Joining Duncan are amateur artists Tom Mead and Sara Lavelle.
This is such a surreal experience. I'm hoping that when it comes to painting, all my nerves will be just channeled into this focus and something great will happen.
To be here, to be within reach of actually winning, it's just the icing on the cake. Bit of a dream come true, to be honest.
As if their last 4-hour challenge wasn't sufficiently nerve-wracking, our finalists will be painting in the hallowed halls of the National Portrait Gallery.
I can't really believe where I am right now. The National Portrait Gallery is one of my favourite places in the world.
Hopefully today they will take inspiration from the incredible paintings that are sitting on the walls. They need to somehow absorb it and let it come through their fingertips to create the most fantastic portrait of our cities today.
It does feel more pressurised, this, absolutely. And this building isn't helping. Slightly nervous of the odd flick bit of paint going and flying on one of these.
I really love our top 3 because they're all so distinct. They all come at portraiture with a unique angle. And yet they're not perfect yet. They're still pushing and experimenting, and that's what's really exciting about them as artists.
I feel like I've learned a lot from just this whole process. Just confidence. I don't feel confident right now at all, but I'm happy to now go with what I want to do and just really push it.
It's a final, it's incredibly stressful. Our lovely artists, they live off their nerves. And what I want to see is them turn that nervous energy and really produce something interesting today. They could produce great things, but it also could go horribly wrong.
As with all the previous challenges in the competition, until this moment, the artists have no idea who they'll be painting.
Sara, Tom, Duncan, welcome to the final, and congratulations on having got this far.
For your final challenge, your sitter today is a bona fide Hollywood luminary, a distinguished actor. She's had an illustrious career and shared the silver screen with co-stars such as Clint Eastwood, Liam Neeson, Tom Hanks and Jim Carrey, forcing all of them to raise their game. Please welcome the magnificent Laura Linney.
Famous internationally as a movie star, Laura's award-winning body of work also encompasses stage plays and TV dramas, such as her current role as a money-laundering all-American mum in the Netflix series Ozark.
Well, welcome. This is your
Thank
home
you.
for the next few hours.
It is. I'm happy to be here.
Not a bad place to be.
It's one of my favourite places to come to in London, so I'm very happy to be here.
How do you feel about sitting still for 4 hours?
I have some lines to run in my head, so I'll be doing a little work on my own.
Excellent. Now, artists, is there any particular way you'd like Laura to sit?
If you prefer to sit back,
Yeah.
it's entirely up to you. And it'd be nice to, if your head didn't
Yes.
obscure your face too much. Well, that's terrific.
Are you comfortable, Laura?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you all.
Artists, the time has come for you to paint your final masterpiece of the competition.
As usual, you have 4 hours to complete your portraits, so good luck to each of you. Your time starts now.
If I could just get you to look slightly
Sure.
sort of downwards just for a couple of photos, if that's all right.
Couldn't have asked for a better sitter. She's got a really lovely, gentle face, very feminine. I'm really happy about that.
She's got a good face, good structure within there. There's stuff to get hold of.
I've taken some photos from different angles. I'm doing one head fully from life, and then the extra angle one from the iPad to get 2 full faces out of it. It's fun to take risks as well, you know.
Tom Mead is a fine art degree student at the University of the Arts, London. He first caught the judges' attention with his distinctive dynamic compositions. Keen to introduce a sense of motion into his work, Tom's heat painting of model Daniel Lismore and his semi-final picture of musician Courtney Pine both incorporated multiple fragmented images, a stylistic concept he's keen to employ with today's leading lady. Very beautiful woman here, with a recognised face from the films. How are you going to evoke that, do you think?
Hopefully, having the kind of 2 sides could add a kind of different aspect to a personality. So the kind of more front on that I'm doing from life, you might get more of Laura Linney, the kind of personality.
You can kind of catch that, do you think?
I'm going to try to. I don't want it to look like the same person moving, or you moving around the same person.
You're very interested in film, and you're interested in movements. So why are you interested in portraiture?
I think, to me, they kind of relate in some way. You know, a film can only be as strong as its characters, and it's interesting how you can get a story out of one frame.
That's a really interesting attitude to it.
Thank you.
Just bashing around with acrylics just to do a bit of underpainting, get the basic structure in. So it'll tend to be fairly crude and not particularly flattering at this point, but it's easier to do this and then work with more delicacy with the oil on top.
Duncan Shoosmith is a professional artist from Wiltshire. His bold, painterly portraits of his sitters, actress Jodie Comer and saxophonist Courtney Pine, impressed the judges with his intense observation of the human face, creating honest and powerful depictions of his subjects.
Duncan, how are you feeling?
Okay. Nervous.
Nervous.
Just trying to crack some of the proportions.
Yeah, this is sort of architectural for you, isn't it?
Precisely.
You're not using precise drawing like maybe another kind of artist would. For you, it's all done very much with this wristy paint action.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of drawing with paint, really.
Do you think you'll use the iPad more while you're making your preparatory study? Or would you rather be doing it all purely from life?
As far as matching colour, you've got the actual thing there.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And that's an electronic image, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's got to be an inaccuracy, because the inaccuracy is me.
Yeah. So you mean that the things that aren't perfect are the more interesting bits?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why we go and see a certain artist, and it's we want to see them in the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the canvas covered as much as possible so then I don't feel so kind of daunted. I never have a plan. That's why my confidence goes from being like, oh, look what I did without thinking about it, and then, oh wow, I am actually a terrible artist kind of thing. It's definitely very fluctuating.
Despite having recently achieved a first in her illustration degree at Brighton University, Sara Lavelle's true passion is for portraiture. Her heat painting of actor James Purefoy and semi-final portrait of Courtney Pine were commended by the judges for their sensitivity and tenderness, the result of her instinctive approach to capturing her sitter on canvas.
Sara, you're off to a flyer. A lot of paint's gone on already.
I'm finding it tricky.
In what way?
I can't really map it out properly. I'm getting a bit lost with the proportions, but I just need to keep going and hopefully it'll make sense in a minute.
Your paintings always seem to have a little life of their own, and they come and go and they move around with almost their own...
Yeah, I think the point of painting for me is it's an investigation, and like I think I get the answers I'm looking for through scrutiny. So yeah, it completely changes because I'm figuring things out as it goes along, and that's why it can go so wrong.
Well, you're doing really, really well today, so keep it up.
Thank you very much.
Hoping that nothing will go horribly wrong today, the artists are 1 hour into their final portrait challenge.
The harsh facts are essentially down. Not particularly flattering, but I've now got to create the beautiful woman that she is.
I'm happy enough with the pencil drawing to fill it in with paint. When I get painting, I lose a bit of the nerves and I get slightly calmer. But all of a sudden you realise where I'm actually painting, and then get nervous again.
I feel quite stressed out and like worried about everything. I'm layering on paint quite thickly so it could get really muddy, so I'm trying quite hard to just chill out. Everything can go wrong at this point.
At the National Portrait Gallery in London, 3 artists are an hour into their final challenge of this year's competition. They're painting Hollywood actor Laura Linney, who is musing on her latest role as artist model.
Thank you for letting me join you on your stage.
Thank you for visiting.
I feel like we should sing for
I know.
everybody. It's like London's new folk duo. How's it going? How are you finding it?
It's fine, just fascinating.
Is it unnerving having people stare at you that intently?
It's not normal.
No.
I don't think it's normal, even for us actors.
Yeah.
I don't think it's normal to be looked at quite like this. I'm someone who sort of, I think, is meant to be seen in motion.
Right.
So I'm going to be very
something.
curious, doing something. I don't think I'm terribly interesting still.
It's why I never became a lingerie model.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm very curious to see what they see.
Yeah.
I'm just the subject.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting, intimate, non-intimate relationship.
They are scrutinising you.
Yeah, and I'm allowing them to.
Yeah.
Which you don't do very often.
No, anyone else
Do that. Yeah.
stared at you that much,
no.
you could phone the police.
Laura, she's a very distinguished figure, isn't she? How is she as a sitter?
Well, I think she's a very elegant and beautiful sitter. She understands her role as a sitter, so I can see she's connecting with the artist where she can. So she's giving as much as she can to them to make good paintings. But I'm a bit annoyed with our artists that they've only chosen to portray her head. I mean, the way she's placed her body, she's got this beautiful dress on. It is the final, and I know they're under a lot of pressure, but I would have liked at least one of them to tackle it, but none of them have.
In the course of the heats, we've had some really flamboyant, colourful people. Now, Laura herself is very muted in tone. Is that more difficult?
That's quite interesting. In terms of her face, you're right. It's a very pale, and her hair is light. It's going to be difficult, but that's part of the interesting thing about Laura is the sensitive subtlety in her, and I'm hoping they can capture that, although it is very difficult.
It'll make it more of a challenge.
Yes, it definitely is a challenge today, yeah.
With the pressure of the final beginning to mount, the artists are finding it hard to hold their nerve and maintain their focus.
How's yours going? Looks amazing.
Yeah, thanks. It's just the eyes that I'm worried about, really.
The eyes are hard. I'm struggling with the eyes.
Have you seen Duncan's?
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't even like looking at yours. It's stressing me out.
It doesn't help, does it, looking at
No.
each other's?
But yeah, I'm just gonna try and keep going.
As far as the competition, they're two beautiful artists, and just looking now, oh my goodness, by comparison, this seems quite sort of old school, a bit staid. I've got youth like ganging up on me, haven't I?
Our finalists' paintings of Laura won't be the only portraits the judges take into account when they decide upon their winner. Prior to today's final, we presented the three artists with an additional challenge. With an increased time frame of 2 weeks, they each had to take on a commission to paint a well-known personality for a British institution.
I'm really looking forward to finding out who the sitter is. Dear Tom, your commission is for the Roundhouse in North London. They have requested a portrait of DJ and music producer Jazzy B, the founding member of the hit UK group Soul to Soul. Yeah, I'm really excited to do this one.
Dear Duncan, your commission is for the Jazz Centre UK. They have requested a portrait of legendary jazz artiste Dame Cleo Lane. She is a musical icon with an illustrious career spanning 7 decades. She's going to have quite a strong personality. That's going to be fun.
Dear Sara, your commission is for Grange Park Opera. They have requested a portrait of British opera singer Claire Rutter. I'm excited about this. I'll definitely be listening to some opera whilst I paint. Really annoy my housemates.
First, each artist met with the commissioners to receive their brief. Sara visited Grange Park Opera in Surrey, where she met CEO Wasfi Khani.
Would you like the portrait to make reference to the opera and to the theatre and or be about Claire?
Well, Claire's a very, very strong person, and she's at the kind of peak of her career where her experience and her body and her voice have all matured. She's not a diva. She doesn't sort of flounce all over the place. So when you say, do I want references to opera, I don't want Claire chucking herself off the Castel Sant'Angelo.
OK.
The true Claire.
The true Claire. I can do that.
Tom went to London's renowned music venue, the Roundhouse, and spoke to programmes director Delia Barker.
Jazzy's a Camden boy, and I think it's really important for us as a venue to have that link with Jazzy because he's been here, he's performed here. So having someone as iconic as Jazzy on our wall would just feed to that picture and that sort of way we feel about our local community, our local diversity.
Is there a particular aspect to his personality? Are you looking for maybe more of the performer?
I think it'd be a great opportunity to figure out a little bit about the man behind that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
In Southend-on-Sea, Duncan met with trumpeter and founder of the Jazz Centre UK, Digby Fairweather.
She's an icon, that's the first thing to say about Dame Cleo. She was the first truly international superstar in jazz to come out of Britain. She stood quite happily alongside Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and Billie Holiday.
What direction do you think the commission should be?
Well, I think that she's got very set ideas about how she wants to be portrayed, whether it should be head or shoulders, which I should think would be probably what she'd care for. Back in the days of the National Jazz Archive, somebody did a quite ravishing portrait of her. They took it up to her and she said, I don't want that.
Oh, my God.
Having received his brief, Duncan visited Dame Cleo Lane at her home.
Hello. I'm Duncan.
Oh, hi, Duncan.
Hi, Dame Cleo. Very nice to meet you.
Where he enjoyed a 1-hour sitting to help inform his portrait of this veteran performer.
What's your drive? What's your secret?
Well, there isn't any secret attached to it, but somebody came up to me and said, you've got to stop now because you're too old. I'd hit him on the head. Get a stick out. Where's my stick?
See, you've still got that fire and fight. That's great.
Absolutely.
Well, I've completed a sketch and...
Right. Maybe a bit grumpy around there, haven't you?
OK, so I'll cheer you up a little bit.
Cheer me up a bit.
In the grounds of Grange Park Opera at West Horsley Place, Sara met soprano Claire Rutter.
You're not going to get my wellies in, are you?
Probably not. What does it mean to be a soprano?
I get to sing all the most lovely roles in opera, I have to say. I am classified as a dramatic soprano. I tell young singers, if they come to me for lessons or coaching, I tell them that it can take 10 years to get sort of full operatic stamina. But I love going to schools, actually, doing work with kids. When you stand next to them and they hear a human voice for the first time without a microphone, they all stand back, they're pinned against the wall and go, "It's so loud, miss."
If you'd like to see.
OK, thank you. Oh, wow.
Tom spent an hour with Jazzy B at his home studio to make some preliminary sketches.
Fantastic. So glad when I opened the envelope to reveal it was you. And the first thing I thought was, I hope he wears that hat. So I'm really relieved about that.
I'm quite excited the fact that you are young, and then my whole image is going to be put together by yourself. That's going to be very interesting.
What would you say has been your biggest achievement?
I guess being recognised in America, really. I think that's probably where we got our first awards. I think we won a couple of Grammys.
So have you had your portrait painted before then?
This is my first portrait. No pressure then, Tom.
Yeah, a few sketches.
This looks like Jazzy B. Yeah, that's definitely me.
OK, that's a relief, thank you.
The artists then had 2 weeks to complete their commissioned paintings. The finished portraits will be revealed to the judges at the end of the final challenge.
Having been painting Laura Linney for 2 hours, the artists have reached the halfway point in their final bid for portrait glory.
I think it looks like her. Just working to make it a bit prettier. It's quite harsh still. I've been to the back of the room. From miles back there, it's great.
Because I've done 2 faces, time is a struggle. It's easy to lose yourself in a painting, and then all of a sudden an hour's gone. I'm constantly reminded of it's a competition. I've got to be speeding myself up.
I'm getting lost with where I am. I see the face in terms of planes of colour, and I'm a bit lost as to where each plane is right now. I feel like it might be one of those paintings that don't work, but I'll get it back.
It's the final of Portrait Artist of the Year, and our 3 artists, Tom, Sara, and Duncan, have been painting Hollywood actress Laura Linney for 2 hours.
It's their last opportunity to each convince the judges they're worthy winners. So how are they getting on? It's the halfway mark. What do you make of all 3 so far?
All 3 of them are concentrated on Laura's head, and I'm very disappointed. It's a final, and I was thinking, you know, she's sitting so beautifully, she's got that beautiful dress. Let's do something exciting.
I just feel that maybe they're waiting to hit us with the commissions. Maybe the fact that they're focusing on what they know they can do best in the time is a good thing.
Let's consider them one by one. What about Sara?
I think Sara's likeness has gone off a bit, but what I do like about Sara, and what I've always liked, is the luminosity of her paint. But she is struggling, and I don't think she's got into the painting yet.
The other 2 artists, Duncan and Tom, have got a style and an approach, and they're quite strategic, whereas I think Sara really feels her way through these things. She's quite intuitive. So it must be really nerve-wracking for her, because she doesn't really quite know where the magic comes from, but she's just able to do it somehow.
OK, what about Tom?
I think what Tom's done is really clever today with the composition by presenting 2 heads at once. He's given himself quite a challenge because it's twice the amount of work, and they've got to sit together. So how they finally end up at one in one painting will be the real deciding factor as to whether or not we think this is a great artwork.
Yeah, but the idea of sort of having that sort of style is you apply it in a way that illuminates the person in front of you. He's using it, but I don't think it shows us aspects of Laura's character, and so he's not using it to his advantage, really.
And Duncan, finally.
Duncan, he was doing so well this morning. He had a fantastic structure of the head. It was very sculptural. Right now, I think there's sort of an anxiousness that he's introduced into Laura's face.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that he builds these heads is beautiful. They've got such presence. He almost makes it look too easy. Sometimes it just feels like this is how Duncan does Duncan's paintings.
We've all become familiar with his way of working. Has it become too formulaic?
There is a kind of style. Of course, there's a style. And I thought he's just going to make it just a bigger head than he did last time in each. But actually, there's a monumentality and there's a space. You can feel the space behind Laura's head. And interesting what you say about that kind of anxiousness on Laura's face. She has it, but not in that way. And it's very odd. It's like he's misread the clue.
So overall, you're saying each of them has a lot of work still to do.
Yes.
In their own way, yes, absolutely.
While the artists continued to work under pressure, their sitters started to feel quite at home.
I have the easiest job in the room. I just sit here. I mean, honestly. You know, I'm just sitting in this miraculous museum and watching this next generation of artists. And there's something about the legacy of portrait painting. I'm looking at, you know, all of these faces, and I'm thinking about all the portraits yet to be painted, and sort of thrilled that I'm one of them.
How's it going?
I'm really struggling. Ooh. I think I'm just feeling the pressure, and it's meaning that I'm not focusing properly.
Is there some game plan?
I definitely don't have a game plan. Just kind of get my head down and try and finish this painting.
Okay. The likeness is coming.
Yeah, I have a suspicion that this portrait is going to be more of a self-portrait. I think it's going to end up being how I'm feeling painting her, which is probably might end up being quite a stressed-out portrait.
You will get into it. You will get into it. There is a lightness and a lightness of touch that is what you're good at. So in your desperation, don't smear it so it's dead. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll try and remember that.
Okay, come on.
Thank you.
You're doing good.
Thank you.
Paul, how is being Sara's dad today?
A bit anxiety-provoking, if I'm honest, but Sara got a little bit sort of emotional.
How many years has this taken off you today?
Well, there's been a few other sort of things, having two daughters, you know, so I haven't really got many years left, I don't think.
Right, okay. I mean, it's a tough ask.
It's incredible. Still, a very proud moment.
Duncan, it feels like there's a lot of geometry going on. I can see sort of diamonds, hexagons, and, you know, she's got quite delicate features, and you sort of roughed her up a little bit here, almost. It's like, it's quite brutal.
Yeah, it's good cop, bad cop.
Okay.
And now I'm going to soften her, but I don't think I'll go all the way.
No. Yeah. Well, you want to stick to your, you know, what's true to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jo, Duncan's wife.
Yep.
And who are these?
This is Clem, Peggy and Agatha.
Proud of your dad?
Yes. We're so proud of him, because certainly he wanted to win the first heat, but then to keep going and keep going and keep going, it's just been brilliant.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
He's got a remarkable array of physical and facial expressions, doesn't he? He's sort of grimacing and looks and he squints and he steps and he moves.
Yes, we normally stay away from him when he's painting mostly, because we don't get much conversation out of him. But yes, he's quite good at facial expressions when he puts his mind to it.
Tom's family, you've come especially to see it?
Yes, yes. Proud Nan has come along.
And what is interesting about Tom's is his style, which is very, very modern, isn't it?
Although it's different, you can still see a likeness. But
Did he take after his father?
I draw my pencil, that's about it.
Tom, very obvious question. Why have we got two heads?
I've had, like, fractured little segments of faces before. Courtney was like a tiny bit of the eye. For today, I want to go, like, full...
Full welly?
Yeah.
between the heads, there is a fractured space, but it's quite a definite form. Has it just come about by painting the heads and leaving the rest free, or did you think of the shape?
I really like to think of my paintings sometimes as like cut out pieces and then sort of a glitch kind of effect. Merging kind of life with technology, it gets that sort
and
of
a
effect.
digital glitch would have those sharp edges to them, wouldn't they?
Exactly, yeah.
So, carry on.
With less than an hour to go, every decision the artists make now could be critical.
The dress is concerning me. Once the white comes in, it might just blow everything out the window, God knows. So, yeah, there's a lot up in the air.
One of the eyes furthest away on the from life face is less detailed than the others, it's less finished, but I'm just liking how it looks personally, so I think I might just leave it like that and not risk losing something that I'm happy with.
I'm feeling a little bit more confident now. I don't think that the piece is turning out how I thought it was going to turn out. I thought it was going to be quite dark and intense, but it's become very light and pastel-y. But I feel like something else is happening now, which is quite exciting.
At the National Portrait Gallery, our 3 finalists are nearing the end of their last painting challenge of the competition, with just minutes left to complete their portraits of Laura Linney.
Time is, it's always like an issue. I'm never going to be completely happy in this time, but yeah, I think I'm getting there.
10 minutes to go. No point trying to reinvent the wheel at this point. I've made my bed, have to live with it.
I don't think I've got that much of a physical likeness, but personality has been captured a little bit. I thought I had slightly brushed it up, but I think I've done the best I could.
Artists, you have 5 minutes left of your challenge.
Kind of stumbling towards the finish line. I don't want to do a stupid mark that mucks it up.
I can't believe that it's coming to an end now. Thought I'd be panicking, but I'm actually okay with it.
I don't want to touch it now. It's too big of a risk to just lose whatever could be there at the moment.
Artists, your time is up. Your final challenge is over.
Please put down your brushes and step away from your easels.
Having maintained her composure for the last 4 hours, Laura's about to be faced with the artist's interpretations of her and choose which one she'd like to keep.
Laura, you survived.
Easy for me. I had the easiest job here. But it's been amazing to watch all of you work all day. Really amazing.
Well then, for the final time this series, can I ask you artists to please turn your easels?
Wow! My goodness. Oh, they're just amazing. My, that is remarkable.
Thank you.
It's just gorgeous.
Really captured your openness and your honesty.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Now, a totally different proposition.
I had no idea there was so much of me. Wow. I can't draw a stick figure, so for me, this is, you know...
It's a form of magic.
This is literally like magical abilities to me. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. I love what you did with the dress. It looks great. I could see you staring at it a little bit with consternation, but it looks wonderful. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Something special going on around the eyes.
Yeah, I love the big strokes to it also. It was fantastic.
So having seen these portraits for the first time about 3 minutes ago, I'm now going to ask you to pick one.
This is really an impossible thing, and only because I am being forced to choose one. But I think I'll go with Duncan's, which is exquisite. So thank you.
As well as examining today's portraits of Laura Linney, the judges will now at long last get to see the finalists' commission paintings.
Oh my God, look at that. Oh, they're knockouts.
They're all so good.
Every
all three.
one of them is just superb.
Oh my goodness.
They're really big this year as well. We're getting so much painting.
It's going to be impossible.
What I love about Duncan's painting is that he's shown the normal style that we see in the heats and just taken it to this sort of more exaggerated, more finessed style. Which
And the personality
Yes.
is just pow! Yeah, it's just...
It's great, isn't it? That full face, front on. Her hands are just fantastic.
I think Duncan's made Cleo Lane look like a kind of a gangster boss, and we're asking for a loan, and I don't think I'm going to get it.
She's regal in a really scary way. I've never met her, but I know I don't want to get on the wrong side of her.
I thought the way Duncan constructed Laura's head today was absolutely fantastic. There's sort of architectural, geometrical elements. I wasn't quite sure he was going to get there, but he clearly did, and it's very sort of sympathetic. You really sort of feel her, don't you?
Actually, not having Laura here, I just realised how good it is.
Exactly.
It reminds me
Yeah.
of her, you know, it's so strongly.
Yeah.
But that he can do this is kind of mind-boggling.
Today, the picture of Laura, I think I put a tick next to it. That kind of went okay. But I've produced quite a harsh picture of Cleo. But I think it's a true reflection of my experience of that sitting.
Tom's given us like 2 character studies. I was slightly worried that I was finding the double thing a little bit of an irritating device, but I'm completely back with it again here, because it is almost as if you catch someone in movement. You know, 1 minute you're having an intent conversation over here, and the next he's turned over here. So you feel a sort of an energy and a movement in the portrait. It's fabulous.
Although Tom's portrait of Laura isn't quite as successful, because I don't know that he was able to bring the 2 heads together in such a cohesive fashion as he does with Jazzy B. We know that he can really, really accurately render his subject, and a lot of artists would be happy with that and just stop there. And Tom wants to do so much more than that.
But it's also a bit like sort of going into a sandwich shop and not knowing whether you want a ham sandwich or a cheese sandwich, and he sort of gives us both. You know, you've got 2 different types of character there at the same time. Proportions are gorgeous. Oh dear, right, come on, onwards.
Overall in the competition, I think I've done myself justice. The commission, I definitely enjoyed that freedom, that kind of, you realised how tough it's been doing the 4-hour ones when you suddenly get 2 weeks. I've been trying not to admit to myself how much, I do want to win, I would love to.
Another fantastic, large painting. Sara's done something really ambitious here.
Not only is the paint put on beautiful, but the light that's rendered, it really glows. Just the subtle movement through it is just really well thought through. I think it's a beautifully balanced piece of painting.
It's marvellous what she's done around the eyes as well. She seems like she's really holding our gaze. Yeah. We don't lose any immediacy, even though she's put those shadows in. I'm really intrigued by her, because everything that she does is just a little bit strange, and it just all comes together so cleverly. And I love all these bright little dashes that are just coming through and giving it that lively quality, and I think she used those really well today with her painting of Laura.
Yeah, but funnily enough, when I see Laura's portrait next to this, there's a bravura in this, on this scale, sort of an exuberance that's more suited to her style of portraiture and painting.
She's finding herself and being very true to herself, and it's just this is just sort of the next very large step onwards in her sort of evolution.
That was probably one of the hardest experiences of my life. I struggled a lot to start with, but I just put way too much pressure on myself.
I think we have genuinely got the 3 best commissions we've ever had today. How do we make the decision? Any one of them could win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is the final, so it's not surprising that all three of them are outstanding artists.
Yeah.
Amazing.
How important have the commissioned works been?
Hugely important, because we've seen their submission, we've seen how they paint in one day. We want to see what kind of artists they are in the round, and this gives us a really good sort of parameter to think about. It's really important. I think it anchors our decision.
It was just brilliant walking in here and going, oh my God, this is what these guys can do. It's just extraordinary.
Have you come to a decision?
By circuitous routes, I think we have.
Yeah.
And so you're unanimous?
We're unanimous.
Always.
We feel really pleased with this top three. Genuinely, we do. It's not an easy decision, but we do have an artist that we feel really happy to be the winner.
Sara, Tom, Duncan, you really have been fabulous finalists. It's been wonderful to share the brilliance of your work for the past few weeks, so thank you for that.
Yes, but sadly only one of you can claim the prize. A £10,000 commission for the National Museum of Wales. After much deliberation, the judges have chosen their winner. The Sky Arts Portrait Artist of the Year 2019 is Duncan Shoosmith.
Literally speechless. My mind is blown. The kids clearly thrilled. They'll be proud of me for a week, maybe, in the schoolyard.
Obviously, there's always going to be some disappointment, but Duncan is an incredible painter, and this whole competition has changed my life. I'm really happy. Feel good. Yeah.
Duncan has been amazing the whole way through the competition. See always work, you can't fault it, but as far as like building confidence in my own artwork, things like that, it's been priceless, and so much to take away from this.
I think we just feel with Duncan that there was something about the way he approached portraiture, not just painting, but how do I tell the story of this person? How do I communicate them? That was really special.
Each time he responded to what was in front of him, so we knew he could do it, but that each time got a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm being a romantic, but I love the idea that going through this competition, he's had a new enjoyment of painting. He's got a greater confidence in his own style, and you just see that excitement, and it's really nice to see that in someone who's been doing painting for a really long time.
I think he just gave himself a bit more freedom with these, and it paid off.
Absolutely thrilled. But it's still going through the system. It's a massive pat on the back. Artists are notoriously insecure, and to actually have some sort of compliment page is brilliant.
Next, Duncan takes on his commission to paint singer Sir Tom Jones.
I won't look that fat, will I?
As he creates his prize portrait for the National Museum of Wales.